What's going on, guys? Chip here. Welcome back to another Pokemon TCG online video, and today we're going to be talking about one of the most hyped cards in the Pokemon TCG Sun and Moon base set. That is Decidueye-GX, guys. I'm really excited to get into this deck profile. We're looking at a Decidueye-GX Lugia-EX Tauros-GX deck. I think this deck has a lot of potential. One of my favorite decks coming out of Sun and Moon. We're going to go ahead and get started and talk about Decidueye here. So starting things off, Decidueye-GX. The thing that everyone is excited about is this ability, Feather Arrow. Once during your turn, before you attack, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. This is Greninja Break, but it's for free, and it's every single turn. And if you get multiple Decidueyes, you can have them all on your bench and just be throwing damage all over the field. So good, so strong. And then when combined with something like Lugia-EX that really doesn't have a damage cap, we can, do as much as we need. I really like Decidueye's ability to throw damage around and just really help Lugia hit some key numbers with Aero Ball as well as Deep Hurricane, 2 really good attacks. So let's go ahead and talk about Lugia here while we're on the topic. Aero Ball here, 20 damage. This attack does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon. So same thing as Mewtwo's X-Ball from Nest Destinies back in the day. Very similar to Evil Ball that we have on Yveltal. Yveltal's is a little better since that is 20 damage plus. This is 20 damage times, so it's 20 less damage, but that is fine. Aero Ball still really doesn't have a damage cap, and we can hit for a lot of damage. And Deep Hurricane here, 80 damage. If there's any Stadium card in play, this attack does 70 more damage than discard that Stadium card. So that's 150 damage if there's a Stadium in play for 2 DCs. Not bad. When combined with Fighting Fury Belt, that's 160. And then if we throw a Feather Arrow on that Pokemon, that's 180, which is enough to knock out pretty much all EXs in the game and a lot of the basic GXs. So we're going to go ahead and look at some of the other things we have here. We are running a 4-4-4 Decidueye line. So we talked about Feather Arrow. We are also running Grass Energy, so we could potentially use Razor Leaf here for 90. Not a great attack, but definitely something. If we go up against Greninja, this is kind of our better attacker. It's got 240 HP, which is a lot for them to deal with, and Razor Leaf just one-shots everything in their deck, so very good. And then Hollow Hunt GX, put 3 cards from your discard pile into your hand. So really good utility there, but most likely, hopefully, we will be using Mad Bull GX as our GX attack. So we are playing one Tauros GX here with Rage, 20 damage. This attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. And then Horde Attack, double Colorless for 60. Not that bad. We'll find ourselves using this from time to time. Mad Bull GX, 30 damage times. This attack does 30 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So really easy to just load up a huge Tauros with a bunch of damage on it and then just kind of swing through an opponent's field. And then, of course, we are playing 2 Shaymin-EX just for the draw power. So let's go ahead and look at the rest of the deck here. One thing I do want to talk about with our combination and use of Tauros, I think the best use for Tauros is actually going to be through Ninja Boy. So the idea here is that we get kind of the surprise Tauros in there. Our opponent swings into a Lugia for like 70, 80, 90 damage, and then we Ninja Boy into Tauros and just Mad Bull GX for a ton of damage, knock out anything on their field. If we have Tauros on the field, a lot of times our opponent can just play around Tauros. They can attack other things. They don't have to attack in the Tauros, so if they do that, then Tauros' Rage and Mad Bull GX are usually going to be pretty useless. So that's why I like Ninja Boy here as the option to use Tauros. Let's go ahead and look at the rest of the supporters while we're down here. We are running 4 Professor Sycamores as our just main draw supporter there. We're playing 3 copies of In, and as opposed to playing 4 copies of In, I decided to play 3 In and 1 Lillie. This is something I'm just testing out right now. This could easily be a 4th In or a Professor Kukui or something like that. I'm just kind of testing this out. I think sometimes there are better options than In. If, like, on your first turn, Lillie, of course, is really good. Chances of having, just since we're just playing 1 of, is not that great, but if we get into 2 or 3, we would rather have Lillie than In, and sometimes we don't want to discard things, so I'm just kind of testing this out to see how I like it. Not necessarily sure if it's going to be a mainstay in this deck or not. We also have 2 copies of Lysandre here to just bring up whatever our opponent has on the bench. We can be spreading some damage with Feather Arrow, loading some damage up on something on the bench, and then Lysandre bringing out for a surprise knockout with Aero Ball or Deep Hurricane. As far as recovery goes, we are playing 1 Revitalizer here to get back 2 Grass-type Pokemon. Since we're playing a really thick Decidueye line, if any of them get knocked out, we can easily bring them back with Revitalizer, or if we have to discard them in some way. And then also Super Rod, just to get back our evolutions, and as well as our basic Grass energies down here. We are playing 4 Trainers Mail just to add some consistency to the deck, of course. 4 Ultra Ball just to search out all of the different Pokemon we have in here. The Ultra Ball will grab us literally anything. We're also playing 4 VS Seekers in here to reuse any of our supporters. Pretty self-explanatory. 4 Forest of Giant Plants. You know, this is a must-have in this deck. Just being able to evolve up to Decidueye on the first turn potentially is very strong. 3 Fighting Fury Belts for our Lugias and our Tauroses. We are playing at 2 Float Stones. This is just to give us a little utility, a little pivot out of, you know, after someone gets knocked out. If we have a Float Stone on Decidueye, we can just bring it back. And then we also have 4 double Colorless energy and 4 grass energy. So I think this list is pretty solid as it sits. There's definitely some changes we could make. I would like Timer Ball in the list. I've tried it a little bit, but I really don't think Timer Ball is that great of a card, so that's why we don't have it right now. I think 4 Ultra Ball is enough. It's plenty of search to get out your Decidueyes, and since you're playing such a thick line, you'll usually just draw into the pieces you need off of your Sycamores and your ends. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop onto the ladder. We're going to go ahead, I think I'm on Expanded, yeah, I was streaming last night, a little Expanded Latios Decidueye donk, but we're going to go ahead and hop in and grab a game with Decidueye Lugia here and see what we go up against. Looks like we're going up against Rookie BR here, playing a Lightning, Water, Colorless, Fire deck, so not sure what this could be. My first instinct seeing Fire and Water is Volcanium, but with Lightning in there, very interesting. It could be some sort of Evolutions deck with Vespiquen or something like that, and our hand is really dead, so that is unfortunate. Let's see what happens here. We'll get some mulligans here, and we get to see what they're playing. Silent Lab, Lysandre, Dive Ball, Level Ball, Bursting Balloon. Very interesting. This could be some sort of, like, I don't know, dive balls and level balls. I'm really not sure what to even think. Okay, we get an Ultra Ball, at least that's good. Okay, looks like it is, we've got, oh, I think it's going to be Golduck. Alright. So, this should be fine. We'll see if he grabs a Psyduck here. I would imagine that's what he's going to get. Maybe. Nope, and he's going to get out an Eevee. So maybe it's just Evolutions. But why is he playing Starmie? I'm not sure. Let's see what he gets with Dive Ball. Does this get a Psyduck? It does get a Psyduck. Okay. So it is a Golduck deck, which is fine. We just attack with our... He's playing Lightning, so that means he's playing the Jolteon. So that means he gets a Lugia for weakness. He'll never be able to one-shot a Tauros, though, so that is something worth noting. He's going to Sycamore. He did get the Silent Lab out, which is unfortunate. Keeping us from using... that'll keep us from using Shaymin-EX off this Ultra Ball. Sorry, I was just thinking here. If this is only Staryu, even if we put 60 damage on our like Tauros or something, we wouldn't mind that. Let's see if we can find a Forest of Giant Plants here. We do not. Let's grab the Sycamore. So at least we have a draw supporter, but not looking as good as we would like it to. Okay, let's do this and we'll get rid of the Ninja Boy and the Dartrix. And we're going to grab Tauros, actually. Normally we would probably start with Lugia as our like main attacking option. So we did prize a Dartrix and a Rowlet. 2 Rowlets, actually. No, just 1 Rowlet because we started one. We got all of our big birds, though. We do have Revitalizer and Super Rod to get back Dartrix's. Dartrix-I. 3 Forest. Okay. So prized a DCE and a Grass. We're going to start with Tauros, though. If we can get a DCE and we can Horn Attack and knock out Staryu, that's going to slow him down a lot because they really rely on Staryu in order to push out a lot of damage. And we can go ahead and Ultra Ball this as well and grab out another Rowlet. Just going to go ahead and start getting this set up. And then we'll Sycamore away and draw 7 cards off of this. So looking for a DCE here. We did not hit one. A Forest of Giant Plants here would be great. We got it. Nice. So we can go ahead and start putting some damage on the board with a Decidueye. We can actually knock out this... Oh, no, we only have one Decidueye, unfortunately. But we could... 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Okay, here's what we're going to do. we are going to Sharp Blade Quill to knock out the Staryu. So this is kind of an interesting little play here. He probably, I don't know if he plays Rough Seas. He played Silent Lab, we saw that. And with Sharp Blade Quill here, we will knock out the Staryu. That's fine. We will probably get this Dartrix knocked out, which is unfortunate. But we can, of course, just... hey, we got a Dartrix there, so that's nice. We can Super Rod it back, is what I was going to say. And we will start taking Dartrixes out of prizes. But limiting their ability to get Starmie is really, really crucial, because that's how they just continually do 120 every single turn. Or 240 if they're hitting for weakness. So he actually doesn't even need to Double Jet. He can just scratch us for the knockout, which is kind of funny. Let's see what he decides to do. And yeah, Tauros is definitely the ideal attacker in this scenario because with the EVs he can evolve up into Jolteon and to Flareon. So Flareon obviously will allow him to hit for weakness on our Decidueyes, and Jolteon will allow him to hit for weakness on our Lugias. So let's see what he grabs here. Does he go for Flareon or Jolteon with this, or maybe another Psyduck? He's going to go for Flareon. And a Dive Ball. This will most likely grab just another Psyduck. Or another, I was going to say, or another Starmie, but looks like he's not going to get another, or Staryu, I should say. He might only play a 1-1, which is super risky. I think they need to play kind of a thicker line of the Starmie, just to keep it safe, because of how important that actually is to their strategy. So let's see if he evolves to the Flareon. I imagine he will, but we haven't seen that yet. So, looking at this turn, we will probably just end. Top deck here that would be good would be like a double Colorless Energy or a Rowlet would be nice. If we get a Rowlet, we can Sycamore. So yeah, he will just scratch for 20. He chose not to evolve, which is kind of interesting, I think. Okay, let's see what we get here. An Ultra Ball. So with Ultra Ball, we can go get Rowlet with these two. So yeah, we can do what we wanted to do, pretty much. So we'll do this. Get a Rowlet. Rowlet coming on down. And then we can Sycamore and draw 7 cards. Second time we've Sycamored for 7 cards and not had to discard anything. But we had to discard things beforehand. That's okay. We don't have to talk about that. Ultra Ball here would be nice. We got an Ultra Ball. Calling out what we're gonna top deck like a champ. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of these things. We're gonna grab a Shaymin. We'll go ahead and Fighting Fury Belt the Tauros. We'll put down the Lugia and we'll Shaymin. Set up for 5. See if we can't find a double Colorless. We did not find a double Colorless. Okay, I think we'll hold the Float Stone for now just to see in case he, like Lysandre, tries to stall something. We'll go ahead and put our Feather Arrow damage on to 20, 40, 60, 80. That's not enough. We'll go ahead and start putting it on Golduck. That's fine. We could start trying to pressure down these EVs on the bench. But I think I'm okay with this. I'm going to leave this bench spot open for a Shaymin potentially after the end. But I think we might be... We have 1 Ultra Ball left? Nope, we are out of Ultra Balls. Okay. So he's going to put a Water Energy down. We could have started pressuring this Psyduck potentially and said, hey, if you don't knock this out, that means next turn we're going to knock this out with Feather Arrows. Could have also done the same thing for EVs. But we'll see what he goes for here. He's playing out Eco Arm and Super Rod, which are normally things he'd want to save, so that makes me think he's going to Sycamore. So he's going to go ahead and get the Flare Effect Flareon into play and a Sycamore, discarding a Energy Retrieval and Sycamore. Does get down his Staryu, which we can just instantly knock out with Feather Arrow. That's so great that he's playing the one. I think there's one with 50 HP, but he's playing the 40 HP one. Because it does have free retreat, so this one is good for that reason, but 2 Feather Arrows just knocks it out. So we are really whiffing hard on the energy here, which is potentially going to hurt us a lot. So we really, really need to find energies. He's going to put down a Burst Balloon. Let's see what he does here. See if he double jets and attacks into us. Or maybe something else. He's going to scratch for 20. Okay. Respectable, respectable. Alright, we get a Sycamore. What are the chances of getting a DC out of the prizes? Let's go ahead and Feather Arrow and knock out the Staryu. We're just going to knock that thing out every time it comes into play. Limit him from keeping 2 energies in his hand. And DC? Nope. No such luck today. If we could set up another Decidueye, that would be insane. I think we need to end here, even though there's a lot of stuff in our hand. Let's go ahead and end. In before the knockout would have been better, but we do get the DC, thankfully. We got a little lucky there, not gonna lie. So if we do this, we'll put 60 more on ourselves, which means we'll go down to 140 HP, which means he will not be able to knock us out with a double jet. So that's fine. And we'll Horn Attack. So yeah, and we'll take a prize. So yeah, I definitely should have ended and then taken the knockout. That was a mistake on my part, but we'll go down to 140 HP. He can't knock us out if he gets a excuse me, if he gets a Bursting Balloon down. We can just Lysandre and knock out this Eevee and start attaching to Lugia, because if we can keep the Eevees out of play, that means that our Lugias should be pretty safe. So he's going to go ahead and Professor's Letter, get 2 Water Energy, so looks like we will see the Double Jet for 120. He might just Double Jet for 60 and then like attach an energy to his Psyduck on the bench. We haven't seen any Splash Energies from him yet, which is usually something that's pretty important for this deck. He's going to Super Rod. Does he put back Staryu again? No, he learned. He knows that we're just going to knock out Staryu if it comes into play. He does get the Burst Balloon, and we're going to see a Lysandre. So he's going to Lysandre, and this should be 240 exactly to knock out Decidueye. That is fine, that's fine. So what we can do now we can Super Rod back parts of the bird line. We do have 2 Decidueyes left in the deck still, so I don't really want to Super Rod yet. Let's go ahead and attach this energy here, and with Lysandre we'll bring up this Eevee. That means our Lugia will be safe. And we almost forgot to Feather Arrow. Go ahead and do that and put the damage. Put the damage on Golduck. That's fine, I think. And then we will Horn Attack for 70. We could Rage, does more technically, but doesn't really matter. Either one knocks it out. And we take a Fighting Fury Belt, which is nice. We can slap that down onto Lugia. We can knock out Golduck. Oh no, we would be 10 short. I was going to say we could potentially knock it out from if we set up another Decidueye next turn, so that's 60, but then he has 70 left, so that wouldn't work. But we could Lysandre and take this one out or something, and then just have this one set up to be knocked out by a Feather Arrow on the next turn. So only need to take 2 more prizes. Looking okay for us. We probably want to get rid of this Flareon if we can. He's going to Lysandre. Oh no, he's going to Sycamore. Okay. He still can't one-shot. He still can't knock out this Tauros, no matter what he does. And he can't Lysandre now. This Shaymin kind of scares me as like a liability on the bench. And I do kind of want to get rid of this Flareon since he could easily Lysandre Decidueye and knock it out. I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough call. He's going to get down the Staryu again. He's thinking maybe it's safe. Maybe I can make it by. So all we have to do now is get out another bird line. And if we do that, that means we can win the game. And since he's Sycamored, we know he's not going to end, which means we can Super Rod back Dartrix and Decidueye, and then just Sycamore, and then hopefully hit the other Decidueye. And then we can attack into Golduck and just straight knock it out with Tauros. So that's our game plan on the next turn, and we should have this game wrapped up. I'm not sure why he would bench that. That's so risky for him. 16 cards left in deck after super rodding those two pieces back. We should definitely hit what we need. He's going to grab a Golduck. Okay. He does get a Bursting Balloon, but I don't mind that. He's just going to scratch. Doesn't matter. Get Forest, that we don't need. Let's go ahead and Super Rod back Dartrix and Decidueye. Oh, we have to put, we'll put another Dartrix back just to increase our chances of hitting that. We'll Fury Belt the Lugia just in case, and then we will Sycamore. And we should have the win as long as we hit Dartrix Decidueye. We whiffed the Dartrix. Oh, man. That's so bad. We drew 3 Decidueyes. We'll put this here. This is really not looking hot. 20, 40, 60, 80, 90. Oh no! Alright, well we'll go ahead and put the damage here. Force him to evolve it. He probably will be able to evolve it anyway. The question now is, do we actually even attack? He can knock us out. He can't take 3 prizes. Our hand is really not good. If we attack into this and knock it out, he only has to discard 1 energy. He has to discard 2 energies as it is. He probably has the ability to do that anyway. But getting into 1 is a lot worse than getting into 2. So it's a tough call here. I think, sorry guys for the time amount there. I think we will just go ahead and take the knockout though. We'll go ahead and Rage. Okay, we get a useless Forest off the prizes. I think our last prize is a Grass Energy, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, he does get the Starmie going. He can't take 3 prizes though, and we can knock anything out with Lugia, for the most part. I think we can knock anything out with Lugia, so it doesn't matter. He could Lysandre and try to stall us, but then we can attach the Grass Energy. Like if he tried to Lysandre stall the Decidueye, we could Hollow Hunt for Float Stone. Then he knocks it out probably, but that's fine. So let's see what he does. Does this thing have an attack? He could paralyze us. That wouldn't be fun. Well, I guess he's kind of planning things out. Did he play that Hex just now? No, he didn't. Oh, that's funny. Starmie gets the, is also stage 1, so let's see what he does. Lysandres. Let's see what he Lysandres. The Decidueye, is he going to knock it out? If he knocks it out, he just loses. So I guess he's just conceding. Yeah, I guess he's just conceding. He didn't get a bursting balloon, but even if he had, we could have just attacked with Lugia, so... Good game. Yeah, he's going to concede. It's a good game to my opponent there. We'll go ahead and hop in and grab another. And see what happens. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this deck. I think... I've tried to fit Decidueye with a lot of different stuff. I haven't tested and expanded yet, so I know Decidueye Toad is supposed to be really good, but this is probably the best thing I've found to fit it with in Standard. So going up against Emerald Knight here with Psychic Dark Colorless Dragon deck, so I'm thinking this is going to be Darkrai Dragons, which I think should be fine. We love that Rowlet start, though. Man. So Giratina is definitely troublesome. Here I'm thinking we could like just Ninja Boy this into something else and not have to find a Float Stone. Ninja Boy this into like Tauros and then in Ultra Ball for something else and then in on the next turn, potentially. Let's do that. Yeah. I think that's okay. We'll Ultra Ball or Ninja Boy for Tauros. Force our opponent to attack into it. He won't be hitting 180 in the early turns with Darkrai or Giratina. And then here we can Ultra Ball for a Shaymin. We should have checked to make sure Shaymin was in the deck before we did this, but it is. So it looks like we've got all of our... We prized the Decidueye. We've got our 2 Dartrixes down here. So prized a DCE and 2 Grasses. That can be concerning. Hopefully he doesn't play Hammer since we put our DCE down already. And we'll go ahead and set up for 4. Okay, so we get a Rowlet down and just a pass. On to my opponent's turn. So if they have a dead hand, and nope, never mind. I was going to say, if they don't have a dead hand and don't bench anything else, all we need is a Fighting Fury Belt to Horn Attack and knock out Trubbish, but sadly, looks like we're going to have to play an actual game here. But, alright, so he's going to grab Darkrai, and Salamence. We don't really mind Salamence that much. We can not put Lugia into play until like after that guy is gone, potentially. And Lugia is not that great in this matchup either. This is kind of where I was like, oh, maybe we should play 2 Tauros, but I like the 3 Lugia in general. So he's going to attach to Salamence and just Sycamore. Maybe he prized his Giratina, or he just doesn't want to attack with it. I would love for him to attack with Giratina since that does increase our damage with Air Ball, but so he's going to discard our DCE, which is unfortunate. We'll see if he hits the floaty. Nope, onto our turn. So we do have the replacement DC to go here. We can Ultra Ball away Dartrix, Grass Energy, get a Rowlet, and then attach DC and N. So I think that's what we're going to do. Sorry, I'm trying to play faster since I know you guys, like, you know, don't love just sitting here watching me do nothing. But I want to make good decisions as well. If we can knock out this Trubbish here and deny the Garbodor, that'll be very, very good for us. Because Garb obviously gives us a lot of trouble. Okay. We need a Forest. We do get the Fighting Fury Belt, though, so that's really good. We could Ultra Ball away the Rowlet and N to get a Shaymin and then Mail for the Forest. We're going to do that. Oops, nope. And we're going to Mail and we're going to hit the Forest. I'm calling it, guys. Mail for Forest. There we go. Yes! I even said it prematurely and we got it. Okay. And then we can do this. Start pressuring down whatever he wants to try to attack with, and we'll Shaymin set up for 6. We can get up another bird this turn. Do we have another Dartrix? We do. So we could get our second bird up. We're putting ourselves in delinquent range. If we do that even after a prize, we'll have 3. So I kind of don't want to do that in case he does delinquent us. This man's not going to delinquent us. He doesn't have the guts. Nah, he doesn't have it. And even if he has delinquent, he probably only plays 1, and so the chances of him having it in his hand are very low. Alright, so we'll go ahead and Feather Arrow start. We'll start pressuring down the Darkrai. We can kind of actually spread the damage between the 2 of them, which might be smart. Salamence is really not going to do a lot for my opponent, because I'm not going to bench any other EXs if I don't have to. And then we'll Horn Attack. Take the knockout and grab a prize. And we get a DC, nice. So our 1 prize DC, we're able to grab it. And yeah, I would love for him to just start loading up into this with Oblivion Wing. 3, 6, 9, 12. So that's 130. If he Oblivion Wings for 40, 130. Then oh, he's gonna Lysandre. Ooh, bringing out the Decidueye. Let's see if we can find our floaty or not. He does get another double dragon energy down on this guy. Okay, Lysandre is not going to be what we need, but we're going to draw a Float Stone off of this. Nope. So close, but so far. And yeah, we'll just end. Try to find the Float Stone. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe we should start pressuring this, because we will have to bench a Lugia eventually. Like, see? He's going to smile. I didn't know if his hand was dead or not, so I don't mind that we did that. If he wants to just sit here and attack the Decidueye, I'm not going to mind it. Alright, we're going to start putting some damage on the Salamence. That's where all his energy is, too, so if we can take his energy out of play, that'll be big. Like, that thing is 80 of his damage. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and click done. Saving this spot for Lugia or another Decidueye, potentially. He's going to go ahead and get out a Reverse Valley. Switch. So let's see what he starts swinging with. Darkrai. Does get out a Garbodor, so that's good for him. So we do want to take care of that if we can. Man, this thing is swinging for a lot. Is he hitting 200? 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80. No, he's 10 short of knocking us out. So if we can find a Float Stone, that'll be very, very good. Haven't found it yet. So 50, 150, 160. He can't one-shot us even if we put Lugia down, so we don't mind doing that. And we really want to find our Float Stone. N is not going to be good here for us, I don't think. And we don't mind getting rid of the VS Seeker, so... How many Lysandres are down here? Just 1? Yeah. So we are getting rid of both our Lysandres, so we only have 2 Lysandres left if we do this, which will both be through VS Seeker. But we have a decent amount of Sycamores and stuff left, so this is okay. We do get the Float Stone, so that is good. He's hitting 190. Okay, let's go ahead and retreat. So 180 will reduce his damage a little bit. I don't think he'll be able to knock this out. And we'll just, yeah, a little Horn Attack. Gets another Dark down, so he's hitting for 200. See if he hits an Elixir. Oh, he might Lysandre out the bird. Okay, let's see where... Does he go for the bird? No, he's going to go for the Lugia. Does hit for 200, so that is enough. We should have mailed probably to try to hit the Fury Belt. And we probably would have gotten it too, so that's a mistake. We do have 2 Lugias left, though. And yep, see, we would have gotten a Fury Belt, so that definitely is what we should have done. 90, so if we could Feather Arrow it... Let's find an Ultra Ball. Not quite. I think we might want to end here, actually. So I think what we're going to do is just not take anything. And we're going to... We're going to attach a grass to Decidueye, and we're going to go ahead and end. Yeah. So only one Lysandre left. That's fine. We needed to put his hand size down a good bit. We'll go ahead and Horde Attack for 70, so not enough to knock him out. He's out of elixirs. He does probably have 1 Lysandre and 2 VS Seekers left, though, so he could still just Lysandre Decidueye or something and not attack into Tauros. So hopefully we've put him in this spot where it's like tough for him to decide. Okay, so he is going to attack into Tauros. That is fine with me. Okay, so now the question is, do we have our last Lysandre in our hand? Do we knock out the thing that has all his energy on it, making him do way less damage? We're almost out of cards. Where are Lugias at, man? Or do we Lysandre the Garbodor so we can start using Feather Arrow? This is going to be our last chance to... Sorry, guys. This is going to be our last chance to... Our last chance to Lysandre, so he's not going to bring up Garb ever. He might bring up Salamence. How important is it to take out this Garb? He didn't play any supporters last turn. And we won't be able to Sycamore next turn because we only have 8 cards in our deck. I think we have to Lysandre the Garbodor. We can still knock out Salamence easily with Lugia. If we get a Lugia with a DC, we don't have any Lysandres left, but if he brings it up at any point to like attack with it. So we'll go ahead and do this. This might have been a mistake. Might have been a mistake. We'll see what happens. We also could Hollow Hunt next turn. But now all we have to do is put 20 on this to knock it out right away. As long as he doesn't Fury Belt it. And then we can start pressuring down and loading up a bunch of damage on that. So yeah. Okay. So we do get a DCE, so we can Feather Arrow and knock out Darkrai. Sycamore. So none of that does us any good. Uh, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Alright, 20, 40, 60, 80, 120, 40, 60, 80. 190. Let's assume if he gets the... Even if he gets the last Double Dragon, it's not enough. If he gets last Double Dragon, or another Double Dragon and Reverse Valley, that's enough. We don't have any Lysandres left. But this thing's going to be stuck unless he starts... Do we Sky Return or do we Razor Leaf? Tough call. We're out of Rowlet and Dartrixes. We've used our... We haven't used Revitalizer. And we saw it was in the deck, right? Does he have... So he is going to knock this out, most likely, if we do this. So it's our last two... We have to... I think this is our only play. He only has 2 prizes left. We have to hope he doesn't have it. He might... He probably has it. But we're going to do this. And next turn we can win... So long as, like, unless... So if he doesn't have it, he's going to have to retreat this. But if he has Double Dragon Reverse Valley is what he needs. 20, 40, 60, 80, 120, 40, 60, 80, 190. He's hitting for 190 right now. He Ultra Balled away a Dark Energy. So that makes... Double Dragon. So that makes me think he has it. No, he's not. So he's not going to be able to knock this out. So he probably is going to retreat. Which was smart. He's going to Lysandre. He gets the last Lysandre. It's not his last Lysandre, but he gets the Lysandre for the game. So that was definitely a close one there. My opponent was... See, that's what I was talking about with the Tauros thing. Why I think it's really good with Ninja Boy. He was able to really play around it there and not attack into it. So we might not have played that last one optimally, but definitely a very close game. Good game to my opponent. So yeah, that's Decidueye Lugia, guys. I really like the deck a lot. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know what changes you would make. And be sure you subscribe so you can get updated anytime I post a new video. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. Until next time, take care.